Let me tell you a story. I'm 19 years old, fresh out of high school. I get a job at Foothills Import Automotive in Anderson, South Carolina. I'm pretty much their errand boy, for $10 an hour. I'm your guy. Change oil, mount tires, move cars around, whatever else. But that's an establishment you should avoid, if you're ever in town for reasons that I'm about to get into, all right? So, when I worked there, my manager, shortish guy, older guy, white mustache, Jersey accent, smoked like a chimney, you know the type. I'm working about 6 months into it at this point, and I walk into the office and I see a black guy come in, and he's having issues with his Acura RSX, right? So we take a look at it, find out that it basically needs a whole new clutch assembly. It's destroyed, okay? So I take the service paper back to him, and then he's getting kind of frustrated because he doesn't want to pay, I guess it was like $1,500 to replace the entire clutch, right? So my manager is explaining to him, well, it's pretty much destroyed. Apparently the customer had just bought the car from somebody else, so he was frustrated that he now had to put all this extra money into it, right? And the guy, as I mentioned, black guy, maybe 30, 35, he's getting frustrated. Not really even frustrated at the shop, at us, but just frustrated because he has to spend all this extra money, right? So then he, at the end of it, goes, okay, guess I will, take it to some other shops, see what they tell me. My manager says, well, it's a bad clutch. This is what it costs. I really don't care if you got scammed by some other salesperson. This is what it costs, right? So the prospective customer, walks out the door, and he's maybe 2 steps out the door. My manager flies off the handle, really out of nowhere. I don't understand why. Not that there would even be an excuse for this kind of behavior, but he just yells at the top of his lungs, "You N-word." And, there were a couple other people in the room. They kind of gave shocked faces at it, including me, but none of us said anything about it. And that's kind of a, heavy thing on my conscience that I've been carrying, ever since, really. It's kind of been sitting there in the back of my head. Really feel like I should have spoke about it. But, I was afraid, to jeopardize my career prospects, even though they kicked me to the curb like 2 months after that. And you can see I didn't even care enough to turn my shirt back into them. But, yeah, there were a few other people in the room. The other guys I worked with at the shop, they seemed like nice guys, but they didn't speak up about it. I don't know. They may have wanted to, may have not wanted to. Who's to say? But I wish I had defended that guy, even a little bit, just to prove a point. I don't know, but I guess the point I'm trying to make here is that, as a white person, I gotta have other people's back. It's not the biggest ask. It's a pretty easy responsibility, yet I failed it that day. And I'm sorry to that guy. I'm sorry to, anybody else that manager may have harassed. I don't even know. But yeah, if you're watching this, and if you're a black person, you probably know all this already. But if you're, not a black person, then just speak up when you get the chance. And, if they're, speak up at work, speak up at home, speak up in your neighborhood, wherever possible, whenever possible. And if there are, you know, black people in your neighborhood, at your job, like whatever they're saying, within reason, you know, whatever they're saying, use your voice to amplify them and support them. And yeah, Black Lives Matter. I'll put a link in the description for some organizations you can give money to if you really want.